much for giving us this opportunity. I am the lead business service rep for Mountain Area Workforce Development Board, which is a department of Land and Sky Regional Council. Nathan Ramsey, our executive director for LOS and the board, Workforce Board, is in the back. Mark is a business service rep, and Steve Newman is our champion IT board member. Thank you, Steve, for helping us drive this project. I need this. Where do you point it?
I would put that. Let's
turn around the way.
Done.
Or you might still have marking this.
Advance.
Or yeah.
Something went wrong.
Those things are.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
There you go.
So our workforce board serves 4 counties: Transylvania, Henderson, Madison, and Buncombe. That is our workforce area. If you've read anything recently or heard anything on the news, you know there's a talent shortage in all sectors, especially in the IT sector, and that is what we're trying to address through this SAS software as a solution to the problem, but also as a system that we can use to funnel people into the pipeline of technology jobs. Here is the current pipeline. Here's the need, not only in technology. This came out of my garage. A light came on this morning, a great model to illustrate the problem. We're trying to solve that problem, and we would like your feedback on our idea and where we're headed. In workforce terms, we don't do marketing, we do outreach. That's a term that we use. So we're doing outreach to try and reach individuals who are either unemployed, underemployed, in a career transition, coming out of high school, coming out of 2-year or 4-year colleges, or just possibly someone who's had a career and wants another career. This is being driven by the Mountain Area Workforce Development Board, and we have, over the course of the year, developed an IT career pathway, which is a sector strategy that the board uses to educate individuals about where they can go within a career sector. There's an illustration here, and we also have handouts that you can take with you. So Steve, with all his IT knowledge and IT geeks, over the course of a year, put this diagram together, and it represents primarily 3 pathways: infrastructure, customer service and support, and infrastructure, software, and people and support. And the entry-level positions are around the outer ring, and as you go into the center, you advance into more responsibility and higher-level positions with higher pay. Our challenge right now is getting people to use the platform. We currently have about 12 employers who have 20 to 30 jobs posted, and we need people to see those job openings. We also need mentors, volunteers to utilize the system to help individuals who are using the system to guide them in their current job or to connect them with a future job or internship opportunity, which we call work-based learning. What inspired us to do this? Well, we have created 3 other career pathways that have been recognized by the North Carolina NC Works Commission. They're in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and hospitality and tourism. These are all high-growth sectors, as is IT and construction and skilled trades. So this will make our 4th career pathway, supported by the Workforce Board and our workforce partners. I'd like to share a story with you, and this actually happened. I'm going back to 2012 when a coworker of mine walked into Best Buy to take care of a computer problem, and there was a young man there helping him, someone on the Geek Squad, and Derek had a conversation with him, and he was making about $9 an hour, and he wanted a career in IT, but did not know how to get his foot in the door, as he did not have a 2-year degree or a four-year degree. So through Mountain Area Workforce Development Board, through our on-the-job training program, we put him with a company where he was trained as a Tier 1 support specialist, and he did so well. He was promoted to Tier 2, Tier 3, and ended up in network engineering, and really had high growth into higher wages over the course of 10 years, and he is doing very well. That's how our on-the-job training program helped inspire him, and that story can be replicated across other sectors also. So the inspiration comes from seeing someone grow their career and succeed and be able to sustain their life here in Asheville. It also helped the company. That company actually hired 10 to 12 other people through the OJT program. There are a lot of jobs, STEM jobs, projected job openings, 27,000. Bureau of Labor Statistics says that STEM jobs will grow twice as fast as any other jobs. So the need for IT technology workers is only going to increase. This is what Guiding Compass provides. And Mark will go into detail about what it provides. Next slide. And I have one very exciting announcement. So this platform can be used by employers to post jobs. Also, it can be used by entrepreneurs and the general public. One thing that we received recently was a $904,000 grant to help small businesses grow. So if you are a small business and you would like to train your incumbent workers, or you would like to train new hires through the on-the-job training program, we will be setting up those guidelines very soon and should be able to disseminate that information in early January. We're very excited about this grant from NC Department of Commerce as part of the CARES Act recovery funding that came down through Department of Labor.
And Sean asked us to remind that that's part of NCID, who made the presentation 3 months ago, I believe it was.
Yes, we'll be working with NCID and also with our local community colleges to identify companies who would like to apply for those loans. And I will turn it over to Mark.
Okay, most of you know me as Mark, alias WebTech Czar, and I am the systems administrator for the Guided Compass tool. So I'm just going to flash through some of the key slides. This is actually a mobile-friendly view for an employer like Mayhack. Most of us know Mayhack here in town as a healthcare provider. The employer has the ability to go in and manage hires, look for top candidates. If you're a small business, you can even do timesheet information for employees that you bring in. An employer can also create assignments. Their mobile-friendly screen provides some navigation of home, videos, about, post, events, projects, work. This is a pretty elaborate system. And as we move forward to the career seeker has a profile just like an employer has a profile. For me, my profile is 50% complete, and we'll see the screenshot in just a minute. But it provides an opportunity for me, if I was an employer, a career seeker, to look for work opportunities, featured projects, and events. We are a community here in Western North Carolina, and that community involves employers, projects, events, people, groups, and goals, of which, for me as a career seeker, in my profile, I could follow and engage in the system. The Guided Compass tool allows some communication of sending and receiving messages. The learnings, the integration of our local educational resources and resources including Udemy, Coursera, Udacity, are part of this Guided Compass tool for a career seeker as well. The whole objective for a career seeker is to have a pathway towards jobs in our community, careers, financial planning, and trends. So after you register, as a career seeker. You will also have the ability to look for internship or work that can be provided by employers. RSVP to a career event, complete assignments or challenges, set SMART goals, explore career paths. So the next slide is something that Steve asked me to incorporate. It's a screenshot of, if I were a profile career seeker, on my left, right-hand side navigation, I have a view match for my technical skills. As we move over to the next slide, it says, Mark, for this one particular high school intern match, a career opportunity, I'm at 62%. 62%. Well, as a career seeker, I'm going to go to the next slide. I want to learn more about what is my match. So as an employer, you have the ability to apply weights, and those weights are what define the matching for a potential career seeker, creating the benchmarks. So switching gears to the next slide, if you're an educator, you've created an educator profile. You can design career pathways, explore and do counseling, manage career events, source projects and receive grades, build a mentorship, manage internships, and engage students through the community. We are an entrepreneurial community. Some additional comments is the career and life planning, the SMART goals, financial planning, career exploration, advising, project-based learning, source ideas, adopt projects, assign projects, work-based learning opportunities, career events, mentorships, projects, work. So as we move forward to the next slide, the educator dashboard, and you see this as a desktop version, the educator can see the profiles of the individuals as part of their Guided Compass entry. So with that, we'll transition to Guided Compass features. This is a free pilot through August 2023, thanks to our relationship with the Mountaineering Workforce Board and Guided Compass. Again, the Guided Compass tool has profile roles of the employer, which many of you are likely employers. Some of you are likely career seekers. Some of you might be educators. Some of you might be mentors. In the Guided Compass tool are pathways for the tech students and career seekers. For the kids in our schools, we want the ability to provide direction in technology for Western North Carolina. Then that can include remote worker paths. Again, we are workforce supported, as Barbara talked about. This Guided Compass tool is also used in Los Angeles and Detroit, and it is mobile friendly. So, as we bring our Guided Compass asks, we need a salesperson. Is there a salesperson around here? Look, he raised his hand. That's amazing. All right, Steve.
As convenient as that can be. In real quick summary, Guided Compass provides us a one-stop platform where we can unify the community around workforce development. Our focus, being a member of Meet the Geeks and being a 40-year technologist, is starting with a map of technology jobs and applying that across all of Western North Carolina. The system allows any person to get any job that they desire. They can create a profile on our platform and literally see the education, the assistance, the work opportunities to land any job, not just with IT. We're focusing on IT because that's just what I like to do most. What we need at this point in time are users on the platform. We have a platform that's been used in Los Angeles and Detroit, and we need to get it used here in Western North Carolina. We've created all of the dots, and we now need to connect them. We can't connect them without people using the platform. So we want everybody here to go to our URL. You can take a snapshot of the QR code. You can go to guidedcompass.com/partners/MAWDB and sign up as a student, as a mentor, as a job seeker, or as an employer. Use the platform, provide us feedback, Share us on your social media. Get at least 10 other people here. We have about 20 people here. We get another 10 people. We got 200, 2,000 people using the platform. It's a free platform for us to use right now. It's going to save people time. It's going to provide resources to the community colleges to get their students employed. And ultimately, it's going to help us flip our funnel and make sure that every employee or every person who's looking for gainful employment in Western North Carolina can have a good way to sustain themselves inside of our community. We do have some funding strategies already in place. It's not as critical as it is to get critical mass of users on the platform. So again, please sign up, register, spread the word.
All right. I would say this is not a simple program, and I give our presenters a lot of credit for banging through it quickly, and I give us a good overview. Now it's time to drill down. So, who's got questions?
So,
Oh, 1 second. We want to make sure.
This microphone might die, but
Good luck.
so we have an extreme RN nursing shortage in this community and extreme CNA shortage in this community. So first question, is this a platform for anyone in Buncombe County or anyone in Western North Carolina?
it can be used for anything. At the point in time that we have now, our prototype was inside of the technology community. So we went out and saw technology businesses. We went and put in some of the technology training opportunities in our community. It can be extended elsewhere. Los Angeles and Detroit are using it for every aspect of workforce development.
Wonderful. So we have about 10 nursing schools now graduating, several thousand CN nurses, nursing students, and that would be a rich thing for them to all have, just saying. So we can talk about that later.
Thank you.
And to your comments, Karen, if you are an educator, you could facilitate the educational pathway in the future for the school, absolutely. Great question.
Yes, and it's because Creighton Taylor, who is the CEO, has provided over a year's worth of work on this pro bono, really believes in this. He can create another pathway for healthcare or construction skilled trades or any of the 5 targeted high growth areas that we have here. Yes.
There's a question in the back.
Hello.
Hi.
I had a question, just given all the recent news about tech jobs in the U.S. and the world, lots of layoffs, et cetera, going on. Is there anything, you've got a double-sided market here, you're trying to get employers on the platform and, job seekers on the platform. Is there any way or anything you thought of to sort of ride this wave a little bit? Is this an opportunity for this?
I'll gladly take that. I firmly believe Asheville is about mentorship. And if there's ever an opportunity, some of us may call it volunteering, but by volunteering, mentoring, and a job transition, there are openings that are there, and Guided Compass is a tool to help facilitate that. So it's not just the career seeker, not just the employer, but you can become a mentor and student and steward the students moving forward.
So a triple-sided market, where you're trying to get people on the platform. That's your main ask. So we have a lot of people that are seeking jobs right now. How can we help you create some momentum?
That's a very good question, John, that I'll ask you. How can you help us create that? and real quick, John, I'll address that first set of questions, right? It is an opportune time for this kind of platform. Western North Carolina is distinctly different than a lot of other communities. In our area, it's a lot more about who you know. It's your network. And the existing platforms, Indeed and LinkedIn and all these other pieces, they're not about necessarily your community. They're about wide-scale distribution, casting a massive net. We don't do that in Western North Carolina for a whole lot, especially in the small business world where we can be really, really essential. So all that stuff is going on. It may allow us to bring in more people, but it's really, really not going to probably impact our ability to make it successful in here? Is it easy?
I can add to that to a small degree. We need help in utilizing social media for our outreach. We do not have an internal social media person. Nathan does a pretty good job through his monthly newsletter. And if you're not on it, just ask Nathan at landesguy.org and you'll be updated on all the workforce happenings in our 4 counties. But yes, if we could get some advice, some counsel on how to use social media to get more people using the platform, that would be very helpful.
Well, I have a question for you. Outside the question that you already asked, thanks. So you say you have more like tech jobs and people that are seeking those type of jobs. Is there an archive where they can get to see what type of tech jobs that are relevant? Or how would you go about doing that? Because I know a lot of folks that are in tech, so how would they know what specific jobs to look for? Or is that somewhere you have like partnerships that people are seeking these folks out?
Do you want to talk about that also?
Absolutely, and it kind of relates to the slides that I presented. As a career seeker, you create a profile. There is a matching process. The employers design the weights of what they're looking for, the characteristic. The system does facilitate some matching processes to help facilitate that, as well as some pathways that are dependent on the community.
There's also the capability inside of the system, and we're trying to launch with this. We identify and we create a mapping of job opportunities in our area and the skills, the requirements, and the attributes needed in order to successfully satisfy that opportunity at that particular business. Those skills are then mapped against the educational opportunities in our area and online. So when a job seeker creates their profile, goes through it, and it is a lengthy process, and it's lengthy because it's good. They can then see against all of the positions that we've already pre-mapped where they match up, and that's what Mark's mapping was. He's only 62% efficient against that high school intern position.
Correct.
That's probably pretty good.
You may not get the job.
But there will be a candidate in our community who will be an excellent fit for that. And that match is visible to the job seeker, and that match is visible to the mentors as well as the businesses. So then when you look at that, you can recognize that there may be a gap. Mark had a 38% gap, and that's not great, but I think it's okay. There then has the ability to look at the educational opportunities in order to cover the distance between where he is and where he needs to be in order to gain gainful employment. So all of those opportunities and positions are in the system as a pathway. So then it's not necessarily historical data that you can look at, but the local employers select those positions for their needs, and then you can easily map yourself against those.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Just wanted you to go more in depth.
And that's something we could probably schedule offline. I work out at NC Works the next mock-up. Schedule time, and we'll dive deeper into your specific questions and needs on that.
Hi, so this is such a needed service. I love that you're working on this here in our community. And it's actually a great segue. The question I was going to ask you was about setting up the profile. So whether I'm a job seeker or an employer, what are the barriers that I'm facing as somebody who's going to fill out this profile, and how consuming, how much time and how much drop-off do you see as a result of that?
So the profile process does require a computer, does require broadband to connect, and we live in a wonderful community through the libraries, through NC Works, through the community colleges, Landesguy. There are many hotspot places to connect. Library, rents computers out. As an example, the process for me, I went in just to create some screenshots and look at my analytics. It tells me, Mark, you're about 60% through with your profile process. So the software does a real good job in leading me down the breadcrumbs necessary to optimize a career profile in there. And it does good, self-sufficient.
Yeah, so if you go in and click on the employer icon, it's fairly intuitive how you set it up. And Mark is our technical admin person, so you can call him. One thing we did on September 21st, we had a workshop on how to create a profile for individuals interested, but also for employers who want to use the system. So we're open to having another workshop for employers, either at NC Works or here. Epsilon was nice enough to loan us laptops for that workshop, and it was successful, and we'll be happy to provide that service.
So just as a follow-up to that, how long on average does it take, let's stick with job seeker, to fill out that profile, if I'm wondering?
Yeah, scratch the surface, you're looking at 30 minutes, easily up to an hour if you really want to get in depth. Yeah, and that's across the board for job seekers, employers, etc. One benefit that the employers do get, the pathways that we create are standardized in the system, so you can adopt the pathway or you can modify the pathway. If you choose to adopt the pathway, a ton of your work is done, and we get pre-existing matches. If you're going to modify the pathway, you're kind of like stepping off that pathway, and you're going to encumber yourself with a little bit more.
One other point. So when you're setting up a profile, you have many options to take various assessments, like something for personality, something for interest, work values, culture. So 30 minutes minimum, but if you really want to enhance your profile, you can go through some of the assessments, and that really helps the employer know more about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great, thanks for this presentation. I've got a couple-part question. You've touched on a lot in terms of matching. Setting aside like the hard skills, like do you know Excel, do you know networking? I don't think it's any news that there's a lot of estrangement between workers and employers right now, right, culturally. So the two-part question is, what do you see as the biggest disconnect between what employers want to find and what workers want to find? And how are you accommodating that in Guided Compass? That's a fair question.
I think what career seekers want post-COVID is very different than what they want pre-COVID. And there's an article in the Business Journal, the North Carolina Business Journal, that speaks to that, about now job seekers want more flexibility, some want hybrid work, some want all remote work. So I think employers need to keep that in mind, aside from the hard technical skills, is to look at what kind of culture does your company offer, and how do you define that and communicate that through Guided Compass, because I think as a job seeker, people are looking for work-life balance. And the job seeker has to shift, and the employer has to shift to find the right talent and the right match.
Yeah, one thing that I'll add to that is we don't have critical mass yet to be able to give you analytics. The system does provide that. So as a business goes through and they feed more information into the system, and they're sharing their culture, they're sharing their wages, the benefits, and their technical needs. As more users come along and start matching and using that data and get placed through the system, we can then map those discrepancies or the areas that match up.
And Mike, I think of soft skills, just continuously pops up. Soft skills are, it's a broad term, but relative to the Guided Compass tool, to have a mentor individualizing and leading through that direction, the pathways that are necessary for specific jobs, this is a great tool. Facilitate that.
All right. Thanks for sharing your perspective. Appreciate it.
I have a good question. Over here. Okay. You might have touched on this before. I had to step out and take a real quick call. Can you elaborate more on the business model? Like, who's getting paid here? Is it Guided Compass? You mentioned you got to use this platform for free for right now. That $904,000 is only going to go so far. How does the business model work?
Guided Compass has a cost matrix based on number of active users. So you can get exit out of the system as a user anytime you want to. But we do have a cost matrix, and I believe Are you trying to find that one?
Yes, I'm gonna pull it up. This is actually.
For a user, based on maybe 500 users, it's like $1.50 a month. So we would be either looking for a grant that could support paying that fee, or a user could pay that fee. There are options there. We now have Atlanta Sky, a 501(c) nonprofit, and employers could donate or sponsor 1 month, and that could go into the nonprofit, and we could pay the usage bill out of the nonprofit.
Yeah, that makes sense, having employers do it, because those are the guys that need the workers, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I remember we were preparing, I remember the idea that even though the fee per user is very low, if it's zero, we're probably gonna get a lot more people sign up. Right, just the friction isn't there. I have one question, talking about the barrier to setting up. Do you need to do it on a computer, or can you build a full profile on a mobile app?
Oh, it's 100%. It's mobile friendly, right, Mark?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
think that's great, because a lot of people have obviously mobile, so even if they don't have great broadband, I think that's important.
Yeah, it's a lot of data, and it'll be a lot of fun. Totally possible.
People are really good with that, huh?
Text data, and that doesn't take a lot of bandwidth.
Hey, how's it going? So you said you set the app up originally for tech industry, like IT and so forth. Does it happen organically to accommodate other industries, or do you have to do something in order? Like, for instance, is the profile, the questions, are they all geared towards tech, or does it, like you said, for instance, as Karen asked earlier about nurses, like if somebody had a nurse job they wanted to get on there, does it automatically acclimate to, accommodate that particular role?
Yeah, so we're borrowing essentially a lot of the data that's already inside of the system that was created in Detroit and LA. We put in a lot more customized models in technology to start, but there are already other businesses in Western North Carolina with profiles and pathways that are not related to technology. So some things in manufacturing and some other businesses. So there's a lot of data in there already, but we're just working on customizing one set, and it's quite simple, just borrow what's existing. Yeah, and that kudos again to Guided Compass and Creighton Taylor, who have created this platform. There's endless hours worth of research and profiles and workflows for all technology sectors, or business sectors. So.
Do we have one more question? We take one more, maybe that's one. Yeah, sure.
One thing I think we can explore a little further is the upskilling and education piece of this application. So can you talk about the like how are training opportunities identified, and how can employers use that to also train their current employees?
Is that through Guided Compass or with the?
Is that a possible feature? And
Yes, it can be used for employee development and retention. In fact, Creighton is actually talking with employers now. He's based out of California about using the platform for employee development and retention.
And also, if I can add real quick, inside of the pathways, it includes lists of local educational opportunities as well as links to Udemy, Coursera, and whatnot that identify places that you can go to get the skills for those types of positions. So specifically in the technology world, if you're looking for senior data analyst, there's going to be a list of Coursera opportunities specifically related